Hey guys, today we're taking a look at my Dark Magician deck. So I've had one for a little while, and it was okay, it was fairly good, but wanted to update it, kind of change it around a little bit, add some cool cards, make it a bit more competitive. Personally, I don't think Dark Magician decks in general can be super competitive. You know, you can mix them with a lot of different things that might make them more competitive, but the more like Dark Magician support you add to it, the less effective it'll be because the Dark Magician support cards just, aren't really strong enough on their own to make the deck work. Hoping in the future they'll add more support for it to kind of bring it up to the level of some of the other decks. This current deck I'm using is basically a Spellcaster deck that fits the Dark Magician in quite well, and it also uses spell counters and spellbook cards. So, going over the cards in the deck, obviously 3 Dark Magicians. You can run 2 if you want, but, if you're only running like 1, it's not really much of a Dark Magician deck. Then Skilled Dark Magician, obviously a great card. A beater that can also summon Dark Magician, which is really nice. Also, the fact that you can summon it from anywhere is really cool. Apprentice Magician, this card allows you to build some spell counters, which is really cool, and it's when it's summoned, so if it's special summoned, you could still do it. Also very nice that when it's destroyed, you can special summon a low-level spellcaster. So what you can do is you can, when it's destroyed by battle, I mean, what you can do is you can bring out another one of it to allow you to maybe flip summon it and get another counter. There's a few different things that you can do with it. You can get out Magician of Faith if you want to get another spell counter. The important thing is it summons them in, you can summon them as you can see in face down defense position. So it'll allow it to use flip effects that allow you to bring out things and put them on the defense so you're not in as much trouble. You can summon Effect Veiler, bring out whatever synchro you want. So a few different things you could do with this. Very useful card. Breaker, another great beater that will allow you to kind of be your MST in this deck. As you can see, I'm not running MST because there's a lot of different things in this deck that will deal with spells and traps. Temperance of Prophecy, also a really good card because I'm running a lot of spellbooks. So this is a way you can get Dark Magician out very easily along with, other spellcasters if you want to add them into the deck, which can be very nice. And then Injection Fairy Lily, one of my favorite cards just because of its crazy effect. I think it fits well in a spellcaster deck, but this is definitely a choice card if you want to put this in your deck or not. It can be very helpful, but very risky at the same time. And then Summoner Monk, obviously a really great card in this deck, bringing in these 4-star monsters for their effects, allowing you to do some cool things and giving you access to XYZs easily. Also nice, he's also a spellcaster. Effect Veiler, obviously a great card in a lot of different decks, giving you access to a bunch of different synchros in this deck because you have a lot of different levels, and obviously it's effect and it's a spellcaster and all that. Magician of Faith, obviously recently off the ban list, so putting one in this deck makes a lot of sense to get those spells that you want to get back. A lot of very powerful spells you have access to, so very good to be able to use this card. Like I said, you can summon this very easily with Apprentice Magician. So for the spell cards, I'm focusing on mostly spellbooks, which support the Dark Magician archetype very well. The 2 things that can support this archetype really well are spellbooks and spell counters. So you can mix it up, you can go full on one, you can, kind of do what you want. The thing is, if you're running like a pure, completely spellbook deck, you might as well run like Prophecy, but it's up to you. So Spellbook of Power, obviously a very strong card. It's nice that it can give your like weaker spellcasters some support while they're still out in the field. Spellbook of Wisdom, protecting you from spells and traps, which is very nice. Magical Dimension, just a really great card. I love this card. You could tribute one of your, kind of weaker monsters, destroy their monster, summon a Dark Magician you have in your hand, or summon another spellcaster. Just a really great card overall. Very useful in a spellcaster deck. And then the field card, the Grand Spellbook Tower, giving you a lot of draw power and recycling of your spellbooks, obviously. It's also very nice that if it doesn't get destroyed, you have access to so many different levels that there's a good chance you'll be able to summon something. And then Spellbook of Secrets, really great to build up spell counters for Skilled Dark Magician and allowing you to get whatever you need. Spellbook of Life, obviously to special summon a spellcaster, very nice, bring back Dark Magician from the graveyard, or any one of the spellcasters you want. And then Dark Hole, Book of Moon, Allure of Darkness, not running full dark monsters, but you are running a lot of them in this deck, so this could be nice to give you some draw power. And then I'm not running traps. Obviously, I'm running Royal Decree to deal with traps. You have to support these cards with a lot of spell cards, so it's difficult to run a lot of traps in this type of deck. The thing is, you have so many things to like protect yourself from spells and traps that it's not really a big deal. So now for the extra deck, obviously with Effect Veiler we have access to a lot of different levels. The thing is, there isn't that many. The Effect Veiler is the only tuner you have in this deck, so I'm running a lot of Synchro. I might cut it down. I might run more XYZ. Still kind of debating that. There's also a bunch of different things you could do with certain other Synchros and stuff. But for the ones I have, obviously Formula Synchron you can get with Effect Veiler and Magician of Faith. Really nice after you use its effect. I mean, Magician of Faith's effect to Synchro that and get rid of it. Miss Bird, obviously with the 1 and 2. Balmung can be very nice just to get one of those monsters that you want. Armory Arm, Catastor. So for the 8 stars with Effect Veiler and Dark Magician, the best ones, Stardust Dragon, Scrap Dragon, Crimson Blader. Again, Synchro is not the focus of this deck, but it could be nice because you're able to special summon Effect Veilers, so it's debatable whether you want to use more Synchro or not. For the XYZ, it's mostly just staples that you're pretty much used to seeing. Some 7 stars if you get 2 Dark Magicians out, which isn't that hard. So for the side deck, again, a side deck in my videos are just suggestion cards that can also help with this deck type. It isn't like a side deck for matches. So I've seen Gagaga Magician run a little bit. If you run like a more XYZ heavy deck, this could be very useful, and its attack isn't horrible. So Magician's Valkyrie, this can help with a more like lockdown based deck, which is what some Dark Magician decks do. Not really my goal in this deck, but can be helpful. Defender the Magical Knight, nice for protecting some of your spellcasters, but that's pretty much it. Black Cluster Soldier, if you're running more light monsters like some of these cards, these were both light monsters, you could bring that out again with Chaos Sorcerer, the same kind of thing. Chaos Sorcerer also is a 6-star monster, which can be used for this card, Sorcerer of Dark Magic, which is a very powerful card. The thing is, its effect isn't very useful to me because I'm kind of countering traps on my own, so it's, if you use more 6-star monsters like Chaos Sorcerer, some of the other ones like Prophecy ones, a few different ones, you can bring this guy out. And obviously, if you bring out higher monsters like Dark Magician, you can use it, but I wouldn't give up 2 Dark Magicians to summon this guy, so it's up to you what you want to do. And then we have Spell Power Grasp here. Interesting one for building up spell counters. Spell counters aren't my main focus in this deck, but it's also nice because you can recycle with spell cards, so it could be very helpful. Solidarity, I'm running all Spellcasters, so this card can help. But again, if you're synchroing and XYZing and a bunch of other stuff, and this card also gets destroyed all the time by MST and all that, so not currently what I'm using, but it can be helpful. Creature Swap is really nice for getting rid of the weaker Spellcasters that you're using their effects for. So, up to you. Obviously, you can summon Effect Veiler and then use that. That's one thing you could do, so it could be helpful. Dark Magic Curtain, very risky card, but obviously it can be very nice for bringing out Dark Magician in order to do certain things. It could be helpful later in the game. I really don't like running it because it's so risky. And MST, like I said, not really focusing on MST because I have other things to deal with spells and traps, but obviously if you don't have as much as I do, you're going to need to run MST. For a more spell counter based deck, obviously Magical Citadel is very useful, so you definitely want to use that in place of a Spellbook field card if you're not running Spellbooks. Scapegoat, this is definitely a weird choice card. It could be used with Magical Dimension because you contribute a token, which is kind of nice, but I'm not really sure if I want to run it. Pot of Duality, definitely a choice for draw power. Gets in the way of your special summons. Personally, not what I'm running. I do have a good amount of draw power in here already with a Grand Spellbook Tower and Allure. And I also have the ability to get my Spellbooks. So definitely not what I want to run, but can be helpful. Obviously, it's people run it in a lot of different decks. And finally, Swing of Memories. Obviously, kind of like with my Red Eyes deck, you can bring out 7-star XYZs, or if you want to run some more normal monsters, you can bring out other XYZs, but not currently what I'm doing. There's a lot of other cards I could probably recommend. There's more light and dark cards, there's more spellbook cards, there's more prophecy cards, there's more spell counter cards. The list goes on, and I'm sure you guys will suggest a bunch of stuff in the comments. But overall, I'm satisfied with this deck. It's running decently well. I don't want to say it's super competitive. I don't think really Dark Magicians are. Like I said, I think they need to be supported more. And the farther you get away from the actual Dark Magician archetype, you start to get into better cards that can be stronger. And then you'll start running like other decks, like Prophecy decks and stuff like that. But if you have your own Dark Magician deck, maybe it is competitive. Maybe you can post below, let me know. Talk about the cards you use. You can suggest stuff for me. If you like this video, you can subscribe or hit the like button. I'd really appreciate it. If you want to see more decks from me, including my original Dark Magician deck, you can check the playlist in the description. It'll have a list of every single deck I've made so far. You can see my Twitter right there, my Skype, all that stuff is down below. If you want to talk to me, tweet me. You can duel with me. We can upload the match, all that kind of stuff. But I think that's about it for me. Thank you guys for watching. I will see you later.